Plymouth Fury 3, Chevy Impala, and Ford Galaxie 500. Three cars in the same price class, but there are many differences. Differences that may influence a buyer in choosing one car over the others. Plymouth, for example, has big bumper guards, standard, front and rear, as part of the new impact-absorbing bumper system. Bumper guards are extra cost on Chevy and Ford. Chevy's new front bumper is getting mixed reactions. Some say it projects too far forward. This full-length side molding is standard on Plymouth Fury 3. A vinyl insert helps protect against dings in tight parking spaces. Impala 4-door and Ford Galaxie charge extra for this. Inside, Fury 3 has a color-keyed instrument panel and steering wheel with wood-grain vinyl trim. And gauges for the alternator and engine temperature to let you know what's going on. Look at Impala's black steering wheel. Black no matter what color the car is. And like Ford, it has warning lights that don't signal an advance warning. Plymouth makes buckling up for safety easier too, with this plastic sheath that holds the buckle so that with one hand you can plug in the seatbelt. Ford's and Chevy's buckle lies loosely on the seat. It takes two hands to buckle up. Manual vent windows are an optional convenience available on Fury 4-door models. They help clear the air quickly and are popular with smokers. They're not available on Ford or Chevy. On Fury 3, you can get this high-back bench seat with folding center armrest. You can't get a center armrest on Impala or Galaxie 500. Plymouth has big interior roominess, more than enough for 6 adults, with more hip room and shoulder room than Ford. But Plymouth's big roominess story is its trunk. You can take more luggage home than Plymouth. 19.3% more luggage than Ford's trunk. 15.2% more than Chevy's. And check the shape of Ford's trunk. Deep, but narrow, so it limits the size of objects that can be carried. This bridge table just won't make it. In Plymouth, it's a different story. Plymouth's optional security alarm system uses both horn and lights to sound the alarm for a double warning on a dark night. Ford's system doesn't flash the lights. With Plymouth, extra care and engineering makes a difference on the road, too. With electronic ignition standard on all models, Plymouth has a clear advantage over Ford and Chevy in ignition reliability and durability. Ford and Chevy still use ignition breaker points in the distributor to time and generate high voltage to the spark plugs. When new, these points open wide to send a high voltage spark to the plugs. But after a while, the rubbing block wears and the points move closer together and become pitted and burned. Electrical arcing begins between the points, reducing the voltage available at the plugs. The engine runs roughly, loses power when the plugs start to misfire, so you have to buy new points and probably a tune-up too. With electronic ignition, there's no rubbing block to wear, no points to replace. Spark to the plugs remains consistently strong even after 50,000 miles in service and longer. The electronic voltage regulator is another engineering advance that puts Plymouth ahead of Ford and Chevy. In 1970, Plymouth made it standard, reducing failures paid for by the customer by more than 90%. Ford doesn't offer one. And when it comes to ride, there's a distinct difference in a Plymouth. Torsion bars team up with rear leaf springs to give it a ride that is controlled for good handling and for comfort. Ford and Chevy still use coil springs front and rear on sedans and coupes. Plymouth's hushed, quiet ride and comfort is due to Torsion Quiet Ride, a system that calls for thick rubber isolators between the car body and suspension to subdue road noises before they can reach the passenger compartment. Thick insulation and sound deadeners are applied to the roof, floor, doors, body sides, package shelf, luggage compartment, and front liner to damp out sounds that could disturb. Flexible seals around doors and windows muffle wind noises. It's in the basic body design that you find another major difference between Plymouth and the competition. We use unibody construction. Steel structural members are combined with the body sides, roof, and floor. Over 4,000 welds fuse the structural steel and sheet metal into a single unit, tough and durable. Passengers ride in a steel enclosure with protection from every direction. Extra care and engineering gives Plymouth many differences you can appreciate on the road, like ride, handling, and performance. Performance from Plymouth's 318 cubic inch standard V8 engine. An engine that's actually smaller in displacement than Ford and Chevy standard V8s, but develops more torque or pulling power than either of the others, and it shows up on the road. So next time you hear someone say, they're all alike, remember that Plymouth has important differences. Differences that can mean extra motoring enjoyment and thousands of trouble-free miles on the road. Extra care and engineering. It makes a difference.